All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Uh, Apologize, for the misconception on the start of the last broadcast. That was Daytona. So now we are about to come to you live from Atlanta, like actually proposed. Uh, as y'all watch, we had our Daytona race. As you've seen, AJG get the win for Chevy Camp there, or Toyota Camp. My apologies. We're used to 55 being a Chevrolet, but we're getting into this second race of the night. I think we're going to calm down a little bit, maybe. Atlanta being a little bit tighter track than Daytona is. Yeah, you've still got almost the same amount of speed, just not as much track to maneuver. So I think people is going to be a little bit more, hesitant about, the moves they make. Plus, being the first races out of the way, now they're getting into the second race. This is going to be their last chance, for this week to get, a solid points finish, for the ones who finished towards the back last race. So, but then again, could have some people just say, you know what, I want to win tonight, and they're going to go for it, and they're going to do everything they can to get that victory. So, we're going to see a lot of different styles driving in this race, I think. Some people playing it smooth, especially like AJ. Maybe he'll, back off a little bit. He got that first win tonight. But then again, as you heard in that, in our interview with him after the last race, maybe he can go 2 for 2. So just depends up, where he lines up at in the third stage, getting down to the end of the race, whether what, a lot of people do. You know, the the whole tire situation here is a little bit different than Atlanta. You're going to use different than Daytona. My apologies. You're going to use a little bit more tires, so you're going to see more people taking tires. But then again, going to have some people gambling, taking 2 tires. You're going to see some people gambling, maybe taking no tires. I got stuck the other night. Accidentally took no tires in another league, and it royally messed me over. So maybe not as much. Only I'd say if people are running out of fuel with maybe 2 to 3 laps left, they would take no tires. If there's anything more than that, I think we'll see a lot of more 2 tire stops and 4 tire stops, but or no tire stops. But like I said, it's going to be an interesting race, I believe. Hopefully, all the beating and banging that we've seen in the first race tonight, maybe it's a little bit worn out now. Everybody's got that aggression, that get to the front, mentality out of the way right now, because it's a long race. It's a little bit longer than Daytona. Daytona was 60 laps. This one here is 82 laps. Remind you, 3 times wear. But we're gonna have our league leader, Mr. K Taddy, back in the booth here momentarily. Uh, he's actually in our Ford camp party right now. Conversing with them as I get the invite from him right now. So I'm going to join this, and we are going to get live to you from Atlanta Motor Speedway. The qualifying is already over with.
All right, remember to send me an invite.
I'm doing that right now as Taddy himself joins the chat party. Maddie got the pole. All right, we got a 4-man starting up front, and there's your invite. You should be getting it.
Got it.
Let's go live. All right. So, did you hear anything good or bad coming out of the Ford Camp chat party when you was in there? Did they all seem kind of positive? They pumped up for this second race or what?
That was the Ford camp. They were all pretty ecstatic. The Larson guy, he sounded like he was having a hard time figuring out what slider he wanted to use.
Yeah, as
He
we was
said he was
running
on 8,
earlier,
he was a little too loose.
it's a big difference between one slider and the next. 6 can be a little bit
Oh, yeah.
tight, 7 can be a little bit loose. You got to find that fine line. So you might see a lot more battling with everybody's cars than actually with other people tonight.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
As here we are. Oh, looks like there's some shuffling already. Oh, looks like Maddie's still holding on to that lead though. As we got the.
Oh, actually a flip on my screen. Noko was flipping.
All right, who's running the 45 car? We didn't see him at Daytona.
That's Mills. That's Mills Nation. He's the one
Oh,
that he joined in late.
all
He
righty.
is a series regular to this league, though.
Yes, he is. Because we got Matty in the 16, we got the 45 in the Toyota, we got the 42 in the Chevrolet as he bumps the 45, trying to give him a little run going into the corner. Looks like that high line might have worked for Matty, though. Don't look like that inside line's going to get him going into the corner. Oh,
Ooh,
Matty's
Mills
cutting him
drifts up.
close.
Ooh, another Toyota pushing him, the 18, pushing Mills and drifted up a little high.
Here comes another 2-car in that Chevrolet camp, so, I mean, it don't look like we're going to see a lot of manufacturer strategy tonight.
Well, the 66 and the 18 seem to be working well. As I say, that 66 shoots high. There's some good racing up here.
Oh, yes, it is.
Oh,
three wide for second place. Oh, yeah, we found out Sunday 3 wide just does not work at this track too often. As a 16, Matty gets a run on the outside. Look at him go. Oh, as the 66 bounces off the wall going into turn 1. Looks like he held it pretty good, though. Don't see a caution coming out of this. Nobody else got tangled up with him.
Who are you looking at as maybe a race winner here at Atlanta?
Honestly, I'm gonna have to go with my Ford gut, even though he said that he was struggling with the, which slider to use and everything. Larson got the win here Monday night in the Truck Series, so he's got a pretty good idea what this track's gonna do. Because with the tires and everything, it's got about the same fallout. Gas mileage and all that stuff's close. Maybe 2 or 3 lap difference. So it's not that big between the Xfinity cars and the Truck Series. So I think maybe he might have a little bit of strategy up his sleeve. Maybe him and the Ford gang can get together. As you see the 98 of Eternal jumping up here in this top 5 battle. And speaking of the devil,
saved it.
Here comes the 28 of Larson himself. Is the 2 of.
Oh man, he bounced off the wall.
Yes, he does. After the 2 gets a hold of him, looks like the 3 is also in the grass.
The 3 of RJ Smitty.
Looks like we're staying green though.
45 of Mills. He seems to be holding a pretty good line here. I'd have to say probably my odds-on favorite to win this one is it would have to be Noco. This is more of a driver's track. I mean, there's draft to it, but
it's hard to pass here, though.
It is hard to pass, but if you time it right and you suck up off the corner and get your run coming just before the entrance to the next one, you can get down below people.
And as you found out Sunday night, you being the lone Toyota up front, and them Chevys hooked up with them RJ Smitty and I believe it was Big D. They jumped up, hooked up together on the outside, and they was able to work their way around. Do you think you might be able to do the same thing here tonight?
What I'm seeing right now, I'm going to say no, but only because all 3 manufacturers are in the top 5. I don't think that one manufacturer has an edge. On Sunday, you're right, I was the lone Toyota up there, and I had 4 Chevys that went around me on the outside, but I just don't see a commanding manufacturer as of right now.
We got the 45 and the 42 battling. As the 42 gets loose, the 45 got loose and took out the 42 as he slid up the track, as he also connects with the 16 and the 20.
That should bring us under caution.
Yes, it did. That looked like you think he might have caught the apron there and just lost it?
I actually think that might have been a bump draft from the 98 that made his car a little uneasy. If you're running a loose slider, a loose preset, maybe a 8 or a 9, a little contact to the rear end. Now this is a draft track, so on the straightaways you can do it, but in the corners it will get your car very loose. Just the slightest bit of contact.
As you know, going into turn, making that transition from turn 3 to turn 4, there's that bump about dead center. It can also lift the rear end of your car up, and if somebody's on your bumper, as your car goes up and it comes back down on their nose, you ain't going to have much control of that thing coming out of the corner.
Oh, absolutely. I think probably bold prediction here. I'm going to go ahead and say whoever's winning the race at either the end of stage 1 or stage 2 will probably not go on and win the race.
All right, so you don't think we're going to have a sweep of the stages tonight?
I feel like it's too difficult to do. At a track like this, it's almost a guarantee that if your strategy is to stay out at and get the stage points,
you're not going to be at the end.
It early.
As we see, the 20 roofer gets sideways, connect with somebody, and they're all spinning. Looks like we got the big one early. It looks like to
Oh,
be at least 7 or 8 cars back there sideways sitting in turn 3 and turn 4 right now as the caution
big
comes
shout
out.
out again to the 19 O'Brien in the lead now. He's led laps at both Daytona and now Atlanta.
All right. Now, you said you picked Noco. You think, he's a big standout for this track, because you said it's a lot, more driver mentality than, anything else. If you had to
Well,
pick
and
a dark horse,
he's not racing for points. Noco's just not racing for points. He's got nothing to lose here. He tends to be a little more aggressive, and he's not going to be scared of putting his nose down under whether it be himself or possibly even a teammate, to try and get that win. As for a dark horse,
somebody,
uh,
who is running for points that you wouldn't see up there contending, if you had to pick somebody from that category, who do you think it would be?
well, I'm actually looking at our maybe a little man, maybe a roofer from Toyota.
Oh,
Um, in the Ford camp, I Larson, I mean, he's got a victory in the trucks. I haven't seen him in an Xfinity car until now. But in the Ford camp, I have Larson and I have Maddie probably being the cream of the crop there.
all
Um,
right.
Larson's running in the back now, but all he's got to do is avoid a few
Oh,
wrecks.
oh,
Maddie
looks
gets
like
up into
Matty gets
two, and
sideways into two, and they're all spinning back here as the 9 takes the lead from Brian as the caution
another,
comes out.
I guess you'd call him a dark horse. But I mean, he was already out in the lead for a few laps here. Nobody's really got any footage here of Mills Nation, and he's a fast car.
He is.
I'd say he's going to be considered a dark horse just because nobody really knows him. He's fairly new to the league in general, but Mills Nation I think is somebody that'll be watched. I actually top three pre-race. My top three would probably be Noco, Spanker, and then Mills Nation.
All right, well, we'll see what happens. Different strategies, different, people running different lines, different sliders and everything. Because, with Daytona, you can run different sliders and it not have that much difference in your cars. But here, it makes a big, big amount of difference rather than, your long, straightaway draft tracks.
Oh yeah,
Looks like the 9
this
gets a
one.
good takeoff again. Looks like that inside line still the place to be on these restarts.
So Daytona, you can race side by side. If you're on the outside, you're going to back up.
Oh, the one
Here
gets
it is.
shuffled up.
Here at Atlanta, if you race side by side,
Oh, they're
the
wrecking.
person in front of you is going to pull away, and the person behind you is going to catch you.
Oh, yes, no
It's
doubt.
just known fact because you can't drift up off the corners. You're going to lose some time,
Yep.
and so it's probably more important, much more important than Daytona to work together as a team at this track.
Oh, yes, I have no doubt about that. Can't count the times, I was running top 5 Sunday in the Cup Series, had a fast car just a little bit too fast, couldn't hold that bottom line. I'd slide up just a little bit, and before I could correct myself, there'd be another car right there underneath me. So it's definitely, it all definitely comes down to communication here. As we see, the 98 of Eternal Rest closing in on the 9 of Spanker as he drifts up. Oh, is that the 2-car Mr. Heat coming up in there? So it looks like we got 2 Chevrolets leading the pack now. But if I'm not mistaken, that's the 22 of Lucky Prime in 4th. So looks like Eternal in the 98's not alone up there. He's definitely got a teammate up there with him. So maybe they can hook up and run these Chevys down.
I want to reiterate. I want to have a big shout out for Eternal. He in the last season with Giggity, he struggled very hard. It was his first time ever racing this game with stability off.
Mm.
And he had a hard time picking that up. He was real loose, real tight, banging the wall, struggling to hold the line.
I can relate. I was too.
And shortly after that, he then put down the controller and grabbed the steering wheel. And yet again, same concept, kind of all over the place.
First time running a wheel, it can be difficult.
I mean, it's the time to do it. Season 1, get all your kinks out, figure it out, and to see him running up front, I mean, it's really nice to see. He tends to be one of the guys running in the rear and falling back, but it looks like in this new season here in the Xfinity series, he's got his stuff together, and he's putting on a good show. If you remember at Daytona, he was running in the top 5, top 8 for a good portion of the race.
Yes, he was.
I don't remember where he finished, but I think maybe an incident pushed him back. But either way, he's having a good showing here. Because if you look, running in third, he's actually following 2 people not in this series for points.
Yep.
So he's actually your points leader as far as Atlanta's going right now.
All right, well, maybe he can get that forward. Looks like Lucky's got 2 people behind him trying to team up. Maybe those 3 can get together and catch these front 3.
Now back to that dark horse conversation. Eternal, he might be the darkest
might be
of
a dark horse.
horses.
Yes.
But also, I'm not going to say I would expect to see him win, but it'd be really nice to see a driver like Eternal come out with a victory.
Oh, yes. But you said these first 2 right here, you know, in 1 and 2, they're not running for points or anything, so they've got nothing to lose. Now, they're both running Chevys, so they're in the same camp, they're in the same communication group with each other. Do you think they're going to sit here idle 1 and 2, or do you think maybe they're going to be a little bit of fighting amongst themselves? As we see the 98 closing the gap on the number 2. It looks like he's going to take the inside line away. No, he don't. Looks like the 2 just barely edged him out going into turn 3.
Sorry about that. I had my mic muted for a second. To answer your question about the teamwork, at this point in the race, you might see some teamwork, but you definitely won't see it at the end. Especially there with the Spanker and the Heat, because you have 2 drivers that, at the end of the day, neither one of them are racing for points. They're both out here for one reason alone, and that's to get the W. Now, if they're racing with maybe a teammate that's racing for points, maybe they'd be content with staying in second and pushing their guy to the win for points. But if it's just 2 drivers,
as the 2 looks like he got loose and takes out the 98 of Eternal. Oh.
You hate to see that.
Yes, you do. As it looks like he got out the way, I don't think anybody else clipped him, so I think we're going to stay green here. But that put a big gap between 1 and 2. So now both of them are running by themselves with no draft, and got the pack coming into turn 3 right now. So maybe the rest of the pack can get lined up and run these front 2 down now.
Who's that there sitting in third now? Oh, the 66 Marcus Edub spinning. The 22's in the grass.
Oh, it looks like the 19 of Brian looks like he's having a little bit of problem controlling his car. As I just switched to his camera, it looks like he's all over the place.
22 is in the center, 1 and 2.
Oh, and 22 pulls up and catches Brian in the 19. Ooh, don't look like the caution came out though.
I'm thinking that might be AJG or Venmos there sitting in third.
As
Still
we got
no
the
help.
1 on pit road, looks like he might have just took a gas and go, so I think we might be coming up along the end of the stage.
That might actually be where a lot of these issues are coming from. People are trying to get slowed down in 3 and 4.
That could be as well.
And I'm telling you, if you're not down slow enough, when you hit that apron, it'll kick your car sideways.
Yes, it will. I believe we still got Spanker up here in the lead.
Now, did he just lap the 28, I would imagine?
Assuming he did, because there was nobody else anywhere near him, and his teammate in 2 car of Heat, he pitted. I seen him on pit road, so I'm thinking the 28 also pitted as well. So it looks like maybe he's the first car lap down in case the caution comes out. That'd be great as we see cars up here in the middle of turn 1 loose right now.
In the corner. Oh, Spanker gets into him.
Yes, he does.
Stopped dead in 1 and 2.
Yes, he
KO's
did.
the leader. Now, if you're Spanker here, what are you thinking? A little bit of damage right there. You might be going into the pits. Get your fuel now while everybody else is. You already got a bad lap going.
Yeah, you already got a bad lap. You already slowed down, so why not go ahead and take advantage of that and get your pit stop in? It won't be as hard for you to get on the pit road, as I think that's what he's doing. No, it's not.
No,
he's going to stay out.
Oh, big rack over in 3 and 4, the 22.
Yes, I seen him sitting on the apron down there. Looks like he's having a little bit of problem. Is he trying?
It looks like he got into Venmos there.
Yeah, it looks like he's been trying to get on pit road. I just don't think he's been able to yet as he finally gets on there now. Looks like we got the 18 little man on the bumper of Spanker right now. But I'm just trying to figure out, I wonder if Spanker still got the lead after the contact with him.
Well, the next in line, well, I don't remember, but I know that Mills, Venmos, and Matty were back here in third, fourth, and fifth, and
They've already
none
made
of
their
those
pit
three
stops,
have.
though.
Yeah. So you're
It was,
looking at,
I
I
think
mean,
Spanker still
Spencer
got the
might have
lead
a lap on the lead. He might have a lap on the field.
because he has not pitted yet. Maybe that's slowing down whenever he popped the 18 going into turn one. Who knows? Maybe that might have been a slowdown he needs to save that little bit of fuel just to make it to the end of the stage one.
Yeah, I didn't even think of that. That contact may have actually ended up helping him.
As we see the 22 still struggling, trying to figure out what's going on in his mind right now.
I'm actually thinking that he pitted, and when he did, I think he actually made the car worse. I think he tried putting some adjustments in, and he probably went the wrong way because he was holding the line pretty good at the beginning stages
He
of this race,
was.
and then now it
As we
seems to
see
be
Spanker
really,
hitting
really
pit
loose.
road. Alright, so maybe he was just staying out there just to get them laps on everybody, make sure everybody was a lap down before he made his pit stops.
Uh, on our channel here, our cam Ryan Morgan just said there's less than 5 laps to go. Um, so this right
As the
here, could this
caution
be the
comes out.
stage? Is that the stage or just a caution?
I'm trying to figure where everybody is here. We got a couple people still on pit road. We got, like I said, we got drivers scattered all over the track right now, and without a lap count on the screen and a running order, it's kind of hard to keep up with all this stuff sometimes. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
Oh, our cam said that was the end of the stage.
All right.
And I have stage results. Vimbros wins it, followed by Matty, Mills, Roofer, Spanker, Brian, TKO, Eternal, Larson, and Little Man. So when Spanker pitted, he did lose the lead.
All right. Well, who's that we got up there in the lead now? That looks like to be the 42 of, who is the 42
Noco.
again? Noco, yep.
Noco.
Oh, but it looked like he got a bad restart unless that 55 car, unless he just got a heck of a restart. He jumped out there all over him. Alright, so we got 2 Toyotas up front and 1 and 2. We got Chevys in 3 and 4. Looks like we got Matty in the Ford bringing up the top 5s. We got Roofer and Little Man coming up on the inside. Looks like they're trying to get together, get more Toyotas up there.
Shout out to Eternal yet again. He was running up front. He had that wreck there with, who was it? The 2 car,
Yep.
I believe. And he still come back and got a top 10 there in the stage.
Alrighty. Oh, as we see somebody hit the wall hard. Was that Eternal?
That was Eternal right there, of course.
I think maybe he might have caught the apron of the grass. It is, man. Every time we single somebody out and give them props, it looks like they're just in the wrong spot at the wrong time.
Now you got the outside line going.
Yes, they do. Them Chevys are working again.
Same as Sunday.
Yeah, what is it with them Chevys and them outsides?
Now you got the inside with some help as Matty's coming up, but it's not the same manufacturer. Oh, a Toyota actually went to the outside. Mills goes you have 3 Toyotas in that section, 4 Toyotas, excuse me, and 2 of them chose to stay up high with the Chevrolets.
Well, they might have also seen that they had a little bit more of a run, so they had,
the 9 and the 55 with some contact.
Oh, but he saves it. Oh, great job.
I don't know how, but that was
I don't know either. I've
made
made that mistake many times, and as soon as you hit it, 9 times out of 10, your rear end's going to just swing around right out from underneath you. So you got to give him props for being a heck of a wheel man holding on to that car. As we see him stacking up in turn 4, or turn 2, my apologies. Is that going to breed a caution? Looked like we had 2 of them bouncing off the wall out there. And I don't believe it is. We are staying green.
Oh, is that just got stage 1 from Daytona?
Alright, well, as we see, Chevy and Toyota running 1 and 2, so it's not really too much of the whole manufacturer battle right now. It's just who's the fastest, who can you get with and make a good line with. Because, I mean, like you said, like I said, you drafted everybody into this league, so you pretty much know all the drivers in here. You know who's fast and who's not. So, I mean, at tracks like this, if you know somebody's fast, even though they're not in your manufacturer, would you be willing to step away from somebody that is in your manufacturer that's not as fast to run with them?
Now, in a scenario like this where you have 4 cars, 3 of them are Toyotas and you have 1 Ford, the Toyotas working together would clearly pass that Ford. You actually have 4 Toyotas if they chose to stay in line. To answer your question, no, I wouldn't stick with the Ford in that instance. I would work with my team. Now, if you have 3 Chevrolets on the outside and I'm coming up the rear and they go to the outside to pass my teammate, will I leave my teammate? Well, possibly, because if I try to drop and hook up with him, all we're going to do is both of us lose the draft. Whereas I can stay with the Chevys, and then as soon as I get by them, for instance, be able to drop back down and pick my teammate up. So I'm still looking to help him, but sometimes following them isn't the best option.
Alrighty then. As it looks like that group's actually getting pretty lined up, and they're running the 42 Noco down.
The 42 Noco actually right now, he's a sitting duck if these other 5 cars get in a line. They could basically catch him and choose which way they wanted to go.
Oh, it looks like we lost one of them.
45. Maddie made a little contact with the 45 coming off the corner.
Looked like he was able to manage it. Looked like we got the 66. Looked like he was maybe trying to get on the pit road. Might have lost control there. See, we got all them Toyotas up there. We got Toyotas in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, followed by a Ford in 5th, all getting ready to gang up on this lonesome Chevrolet up here. Now we're in the 2nd stage. We're probably about, what do you say, maybe 7, 8, 9 laps into it. Coming up on the end of the stage. Like you say, you got the 3 Toyotas running 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. If you're running for points and you got a chance to get, the playoff point to win that stage, are you going to take it, or are you content,
Well, so here's the interesting fact here, is those aren't just 3 Toyotas that are running for the stage points, but you have a Chevy that is not and a Ford that is not. But, like you were asking earlier, what do you do at this point if you come down to that last lap? Because if Lil Man goes to the outside in the 18 like that right there, now does Roofer go with him or Noco? Noco's fast, and Roofer wants that stage point, that playoff win point, just as much as Lil Man does.
It's going to be interesting coming down to see, especially if it stays like this for the rest of the stage, because, like I said, you're going to have a lot of different strategies. We've seen people pitting early in the first stage. We've seen some people pitting late, so I guess we're going to have to play this by ear and see what happens here, but it looks like it's going to be a great finish to this 2nd stage. We see Maddie caught the grass just a little bit.
That's too bad too, because the Toyotas are actually doing the right thing and trying to go to the outside.
Yes,
but when
they
they're
are.
doing that, Maddie's dropping to the inside, and he actually got in the grass because he got below Vinbos. Oh, 18, a little man. Did he just get below Noco? Yes.
Yes, he did. Oh,
they might even have the preferred lane now.
Yes, he does. All 3 of them Toyotas are down there. Followed. Oh, is Maddie going to go with the Chevy?
Maddie needed to stay with the Toyotas there and just keep that run. Noco had no speed coming right there, but it looks like now Noco will be able to drop back down and follow in line.
Yes, he
The
will.
best thing for both Noco and Maddie at this point is neither one of them have a teammate. They need to become their own 2-car team.
Now, see, this is when, what I was talking about, earlier about the whole, being in separate, chat parties for, as, per manufacturer. Whenever you've got just, the 55 and the 20 make contact, sends Vinbros out through the grass. So it's now down to just 2 Toyotas, a Chevy and a Ford. But as I was saying, whenever you've got a Ford and a...
for the Chevy and Ford.
Sorry, was.
Go ahead.
Like I said, whenever you got, like right now, you've got Maddie and Noco running 3rd and 4th, by themselves in separate, chat parties. You're not able to communicate with each other. So, I mean, how are you going to be able to judge if, say, they try to pit together how do you know when that person's going to pit? How do you know when they're not? I mean, it throws a wrench into a lot of plans sometimes doing that. But
Now this actually happened to me on last night. Celtics chose to pit. He was in front of myself and Maddie. We were coming up, and which is three completely different teams because Maddie was in the Ford, I was in a Toyota, and Celtics is a Chevy, and so none of us could hear each other. And Celtics didn't
is
do the
that when that
normal thing of
accident
dropping
happened?
down.
Oh, as the
Yeah, so
18 and the 20 take each other out coming through the tri-oval at Atlanta. Is that going
if
to
you're
breed a caution?
RKM right now, you are getting in that chat to yell at your drivers.
Yes, they are, as the caution comes out. All right, well, I think I only seen 2 or 3 people pit, so I think it throws that pit strategy out the window. I think most everybody, even if you've already pitted, they're going to have, the people that hadn't pitted, they're definitely going to, so it's going to give them fresher tires than everybody else. So even if you've already pitted and you've made up that lap time back already, I think you'll still see most people pit here just to have the same tires, the same grip and everything. Yeah, as you were saying about Celtics whenever he pitted last night, I remember that because that caused a big, big wreck last night doing that, not being able to communicate with everybody else and them not knowing when you're pitting.
Yeah, usually when you're not in the same chat, what people do is they you drop down on the backstretch and you let people know. Um, that, however, was not the scenario last night as he stayed in his line. And I lucked out, actually. Celtics went to, when he hit the brakes to pit, he drifted up the track and I got below him, but Matty was right there behind me. And so when Celtics dropped, he went ahead and caught Matty.
Oh, believe me, I caught the back of Celtics too whenever that happened. As we see once again, that inside line running looks like Noko and Little Man's getting hooked up, but he's also got his Toyota teammate, the 45 of Mills, behind him. As we see the Ford of Eternal Rest getting back up here to top 5. As they make contact. Oh, ouch.
Looked like Mills come back down off the wall.
Yeah, it did. Whenever you pop that wall, you're doing your best to get off that wall, but it's hard to get off that wall without going too far down and collecting somebody else with it. Once you get on that wall, if you don't get off of it right away, you're going to be grinding that wall throughout the rest of the curve, and you can find yourself from first to dead last in a matter of 2 seconds.
Now, lucky for these guys, the caution came out.
Oh, yes. Because we've seen that before. 2 or 3 people get caught up like that, grinding on the wall, and that caution not come out, and you lose a lot of momentum, you lose a lot of space between each other, and not only you have nobody else around you, so there goes that draft out the window. So while everybody else is running 2 to 3 tenths quicker than you, you're not going to be able to make that time back up. In fact, you'll be losing more than anything.
Okay, so real quick, actually, this is stage 3.
This is stage 3 already? All right, it's been a fast race.
Yeah, when I said that I thought I'd gotten the results from Daytona, I was actually receiving both stage 1 and stage 2 results from this. So they're actually about 15 to 20 laps into stage 3.
All right then. So that means we've probably got about, 30 laps or so. So maybe one more green flag pit stop if it stays green.
Yeah, I'd imagine right around there. And so you're at that stage now that here with a quick caution, a couple more quick cautions, you might, if you're in the back, take 2 tires when everybody else pits, get to the front.
Oh,
and
see somebody
maybe play the caution game.
Oh, they're catching the grass. We still got somebody spinning hard, doing 360s through the infield.
I don't think the caution's out yet.
Yes, it is. It just came out. The moment you said that, it came out. I heard that engine rear down.
Same thing. Commentators curse. I tell everybody.
I don't think that was a curse, though. I think everybody needed that caution at the back.
Well, not those top 10, 11 drivers right there. They was hoping no caution. Now, I actually say this a lot when I'm racing, that I hate to see it happen, but sometimes when you have a big group of cars like this, and you actually hope that there's an incident that you're not involved in that does not bring out a caution.
Oh, yes.
What that does is it spreads the field out. You get a lot of green flag laps. When you have 16, 17 drivers all together in one pack, you're going to have a hard time with getting green flag runs. When you're at a track that has groups of 3, groups of 5, you can get a bunch of racing in. And so personally, if I start in the rear, like Marcus Edub right now, he's starting dead last on the 3 start. I'm not up there racing with people. I'm going to lift maybe fall 2-3 tenths of a second off, enough to stay in the draft, but also enough that if an incident happens, I can lift and avoid. You just, especially if you're in the rear, you don't want to get involved in something that is
Oh,
not your own doing.
oh yeah, and, like we said, we've seen a lot of that Sunday night. We've seen a lot of that last night. Just you're sitting there just doing your best trying to hold your line, but somebody else catches the apron or gets too loose or slides up, getting a little bit too tight, bounces off the wall, comes back down, and you're there, and there's nothing you can do about it. It can get really frustrating sometimes.
I want to give another shout out. The car in
You
second
sure
place.
you
What
want to
he's
do that
losing
right
now
now?
is Spanker.
Last
Well,
shout out,
I'm
somebody
not so
wrecked.
sure. The same driver. I can't say enough about him. Eternal's up here still yet again in the top five. As
Wow.
you have the likes of Spanker and Smitty going around him. He's got no help. There's now three Chevys in front of him. He's got MP Roofer, Toyota behind him. Those are actually your first two racing for points is Eternal and Roofer. And I feel like every time we're talking about the point situation, we're talking about Eternal
Eternal,
Recipe up
yeah.
there, the top point drivers here at Atlanta.
All right, so if you had to lay your money down on between Eternal and Roofer right now, who do you think you'd go for? Who do you think's got the better car right
I
now?
I think Eternal's been up there more consistently, but I also don't want to count out another dark horse driver, but he's had a good showing all night. If you look just behind those two, Brian's coming
Brian,
right along. He's
yes.
still in the top draft. And yet again, all three of them, if you were to tell me they're going to be running in the top five late in the race, I probably would have told you you're silly. But they're proving me wrong. What a great showing for them. And not only that, but they're staying up with three Cup drivers. You have Noko, Spanker, and RJ Smitty, all three Cup drivers, all on a team working together drafting. And you have Eternal and Roofer staying right there with them.
All right, well, we're getting updates from the Toyota captain, RKM himself. He's commenting on this. We've got 14 laps to go right now. So whenever that caution came out, yeah, we was right. He said it was 21 laps to go. He commented about 2 or 3 minutes later, so we were right on the money with our estimates there. So it looks like
Hey.
maybe still one more green flag pit
Oh,
stop as
Eternal
we
gets
see
into the
Roofer
side
get
of
the
Roofer.
wall. Looks
It
like
looks like
Brian
Eternal
also
went
got the
in too
wall.
low. Oh, yeah.
As
I
all of
don't
them
know.
start.
Brian seems to be holding pretty good.
Oh yeah, it looks like
I
he.
guess the rest of them are catching him.
Oh yeah, here they come. Here comes the 66. They got that inside line on them now. I'm afraid that they're going to freight train Brian now.
If you're Eternal, you're in trouble.
Oh
Single
yes.
car, we got big pack coming. But what might save him is the first car in that pack is Marcus Edub, Toyota, the front running Toyota. However, the next one in line is Matty, not racing for points. So if Marcus goes to the outside to get past low, Matt might stay down low and work with his teammate.
He could possibly do that. You've got the Chevys all lined up 1, 2, and 3 in the front, so why not have the Fords get together, help your teammate get that point, get them points. These
I
three
mean,
these three Chevys up here,
realistically,
they are just in sync right now. It is just unbelievable.
it's a battle for fourth at this point. The Chevys, they might fight it out to see who wins at the end, but realistically, they're not going to do anything drastic until the end. So you have minus Matt here for fourth, fifth, sixth, and seventh. Matt's the only one not.
Oh,
Oh, Marcus
look,
catches the apron.
yes he does. So it looks like Eternal catches a break because by God, they were moving on him in a heartbeat.
Well, now you have Mills coming up on him because when Marcus hit the apron, it looked like Matty was collected in it. So
Yes, it was.
there goes Eternal's teammate is out of the picture now.
And
But
it looks like, is that Brian behind Mills in that 19 Toyota?
it sure is.
All right, he's still up there. He's still making it work. He's been getting contacted, hitting the wall, hitting other cars all night, but he is refusing to give up as he just keeps on digging.
And then you got another Toyota of Imbros, and then you got the 61 of TKO,
All
and then
right.
maybe that's the 28.
Yes, it is. That's 28 K. Larson. As we see Mills closing the gap on Eternal. Can Eternal hold him off? Marcus is actually a lap down, so
Did he pit when he hit the apron there?
uh, I'm not sure whether he did or not. I don't. That might have been why he was at the back of the pack. He might have tried to get a wave around whenever he caught that apron down there and it spun him around. He might have got put a lap down then.
One thing we can't tell here is these last cautions. I don't know. I forgot to check. I'm not sure how many laps per tank they get.
19,
But
18.
So when our cam had written said 17 to go, there was 21 to go on the restart. They can't make it.
No, so we're going
So
to have a green flag pit stop.
Marcus
Just
may be a lap down, but if he's already pitted, he's got 4 freshies while everyone else's lap times are
oh,
going lower and lower. And about the time everybody pits, he should get his lap back, be right back on the lead lap. Marcus might actually not be sitting in a bad spot.
he might not. As we see, battle for fourth place. Looks like the points battle's starting to heat up as we got 98 of Eternal and the 45 of Mills.
Now we know that there's some other leaders up there, and Arcam is now posted 7 to go.
Yes, he is.
But we know there's a battle for the lead up there. But this is, as far as the Xfinity series, this is what you want to see right here, your points battle. It's all
As
online.
we see 45 Mills going below Eternal. By yourself, it looks like just whoever can hold that bottom line the best, as long as you ain't got nobody drafting around you, no help. I think whoever's holding that bottom line the greatest is going to have the best chance of winning.
The Eternal sure is trying hard to get another run on him. I think he just used 8 lanes on the front stretch there.
No kidding. Looks like that pack behind him though is getting a run. Who's at the? That the
That's
55? Yes, it is.
You got the 55 of Inmos. You got the 19 of Brian back in it.
And the 28 of K. Larson. Yes, sir. All right. Oh, as we see, look like Inmos hit the grass a little bit.
Hands down, this Atlanta race has been considerably better than Daytona, and I want to give a big shout out to all 5 of these cars in this group. They're all running for points in this series, and all 5 of them are doing a great job here.
Oh yeah, they're not pushing the issue too much.
Those 3 Cup cars
we
up
got
there.
98 moving on the inside. Here we go. Looks like K. Larson, his teammates.
The
the 45 gets him, and he takes his teammate out. And Brian. As the caution comes out. Yes, it did.
Oh, the Chevy crew did not want to see that.
No, they did not. I guarantee you they're cussing up a storm right now. I don't believe they're going to have to make that pit stop because it's 3 to go now. RKM said they restarted with 17 to go, so...
If you're in the back, it doesn't hurt to take those tires.
No, it does not.
Even if there was 17 to go on a 19-lap fuel run, these guys' tires are old. And if you're Noco, Smitty, and Spanker, what do you do here? Do you pit expecting more cautions? Do you stay out with these old tires and hope and pray that not everyone else in the field does pit?
I think we're about to see right now. Looks like they stayed
up. Now, I said earlier,
there.
though, my guessing for tonight was top 3 was going to be Noco, Spanker, and Mills. You take Smitty out of the equation, and I got 3 out of the 4 so far.
All right, as we get this thing started again, so we got a green flag checker going right here now, ladies and gentlemen. So we see the 42 and Noco lead that pack into turn 1. As we see Mills catch the outside, looks like, somebody is barrel rolling.
Eternal doesn't make it through the corners.
Man.
That stinks.
Yes, it does.
Oh, Vimbo's up there trying to get the sweep on the night.
It's him, Marcus. Not Marcus.
It looks like the 3 might have moved the 55 and pushed him up into Noco. Oh, that might be a race. If caution comes out now, that might be a race.
It might be.
Spanker, Smitty, Matty, Roofer up there clears it.
We thought that, Sunday night too, but also remember now, whenever we was on that last lap, that caution still came out right as we was on the last lap heading into turn 4, getting ready to take the checkered flag. So we'll have to see.
I think the difference is whether it was a green-white checkered or if that was just a regular distance.
The race is over. Arcame confirmed it. The race is over.
So your winner is Spanker, RJ Smitty, Matty with 3rd, and Roofer is your top points driver in 4th place.
All right.
You asked me earlier who I thought was would have taken it between Roofer and Eternal, and I guess I picked the wrong one.
All right. Well, how about we try to get Spanker, who won the race, And we'll get Maddie also in here who had no. Maddie's not a points. Who did you say ran top points?
Roofer was the top points driver.
All right, so let's try to get them both in here.
Let's go ahead and try to get Spanker in here first.
All right.
I suggested to.
All right.
I think we're gonna try maybe to get Maddie, Spanker, and Roofer all up in here.
All right. Alright, so let's try to get Maddie and Roofer. Alright, I got you right here. Send him the invite now. Alright.
Over.
Maddie.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Top
Hey, real
4
quick,
tonight,
Maddie.
coming out top 3.
Maddie, I need you to go to your party settings and make sure that your voice is always allowed.
He is. He was on a broadcast the other day, remember?
Yes, sir.
Oh, yeah, okay. Third place finish. How you feeling after that?
It was pretty good, man. That car was fast. I will say that. I was could pretty much do whatever I wanted with it, and was trying to get the other Ford guys to come along with me, but it just so happened that we just couldn't sync it up right. But I feel I know Noko looked like he had a fast car, and I
He
think
did.
if everything would have stayed green, I think I had something for him at the end. I was with him for a minute. I saw those Yodas on the outside trying to get something going, and they left a straight line to Noko, and I was like, come on, but couldn't get there in time, so.
Well, being
That
top 4.
it looks like a lot of fun. What were you thinking there on that last restart? Were you happy that you were on the inside?
Oh, I was tickled pink. I was so happy. That was the one thing I told myself is I just don't want to be on the outside. And then I saw it inside, and I was like, it's time to go. And like I said, the car was good. I think all the Fords were good.
It looked like y'all could
looks
move.
like Eternal was actually the cream of the crop for the Ford crew.
Yeah, I was, it's funny, we were in that chat, and I'm like telling him, I'm like, dude, follow Noko. Follow me, do what I do what Noko does. And he had a really good night. I was really happy to see him up there. I saw him, in front of me a few times, behind me a few times, and
The end result wasn't what he wanted, but I thought that he had a very good showing up there.
Oh, yeah, I think he can come away with that.
Yep.
And, next week, we've got Kansas and Martinsville coming up. Kansas being another mile and a half. You think anybody can take away from this particular mile and a half to the next one, or you think it's going to be a whole different scenario?
I think it's going to be a whole different scenario. Whatever the track is going to be.
The Cup Series is going to Kansas and Martinsville. The Xfinity is going to Vegas and ISM next week.
Well, Vegas also being another mile and a half, so it's almost, kind of similar, more D-shaped than the tri-oval.
I think it'll be a whole different ballgame next week. We had a lot of, fill-in guys, some guys that were in trucks, some guys that are in Cup, just coming down and having some fun with it. And for me, just coming out of this division, I will say, man, to go back into it for a race and have a strong showing at both Daytona and Atlanta, that was pretty cool for me. At Daytona, it was more like get the teammates up there and try to help them out. But it was cool just to have a strong showing on the
Yeah,
welcome
it
back
seems
to
like you're
Xfinity.
surrounded by Toyotas, not Fords. There,
Oh, yeah.
the majority of the race. Well, all right, Maddie. Well, we wanna say again, congratulations on a good finish, and looking forward to seeing you there on Sunday for. It'll be interesting.
Oh,
Kansas
Yeah.
and Martinsville.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for doing the broadcast. That's pretty cool of you guys. Boomhauer,
Yeah.
great job.
Thank you very
Keep it
much.
going, man.
Good job to you, and we'll catch you later.
All right, later.
All right, let's go ahead and get Roofer in here now. Yes, you did.
I actually want to throw this out there real quick. Noko on the daily leaderboard here today. Noko is 4th. Maddie finished
up, man?
5th overall, and Eternal Rest actually 6th.
All right, Roofer,
Oh, you
our
done with the
top,
train? Oh, my bad.
our top points driver tonight. How does it feel?
Pretty good, man. Didn't know that. I must have had a real consistent race there in the Atlanta race to make up for the bad finish there at Daytona at the end. Didn't know though that I was the points lead after tonight. It feels good.
Oh no, you're
Well,
the
no,
points leader.
we're not saying you're
for
points
Atlanta.
leader. What happened was at Atlanta, you finished 4th behind Maddie, Spanker, and Smitty.
Okay.
The 3 of them are all in the Cup Series, so you were the top finishing driver in the Xfinity Series at Atlanta.
So I actually won Atlanta out of the
Out of the
Xfinity
regulars,
guys.
out of the regulars,
Alright.
I guess you could say you won it. Yeah.
Yeah, well, had a fast car all night, you know. We kind of had problems with the 22. His lap down, I don't know, lost it between me and AJ. Marcus helped out a lot. He was trying to get to the front. He got pinned a couple laps down, and just missed a few accidents there at the end and got lucky pretty much, you know. It was a good fun night though, man. Atlanta was a blast. Actually,
like y'all were
Atlanta's not
doing-
one of them tracks
Go ahead.
I normally like, but I worked on it all day and I liked it tonight. It just held the bottom great.
It looked like y'all were, everybody, for the main part was a little bit more in sync than they were at Daytona. You think that was just, just because, first race of the season, getting it out the way, knowing what to expect from everybody else, how everybody runs.
Yeah.
You think that had a lot to do with it?
Right. I think the first race at Daytona was just first race jitters because some of these guys, you have Cup come down, and some of these guys, they're new to Xfinity. They've only ran trucks, and they get excited and get a few cautions, and that's just, it's our first night of the year, and you're going to expect that. But I was actually surprised the Atlanta race was a really, really good race, man.
It was a fast
really,
race.
really good. Right. That's I was running like if you wasn't running 28, 29 8s, 29 9s or better, it was hard to stay with that front pack. But if you could just stay there and be patient with the front guys, it worked out good there.
Alrighty, well,
But yeah, man.
great run tonight. Look like, Toyotas, look like they might have been able to have, get together for a couple of laps. The Chevys look like they got together for a couple of laps. It looks like all the manufacturers tried to do a good job working together. Some of them got separated, but all in all, it looks like it was a great view.
No, Definitely. I've seen all the teams working as a team, and that's, when you're in one team, you're like, hey, but hey, you got to do that too, So if you're a Ford, you got to work with your teammates. You're a Toyota, you got to work with your Toyotas. But everyone did a great job, was working as a team tonight and got their teammates some good finishes. So.
All right. Well,
a fun
congratulations
night.
on the top 5 tonight, and we will catch y'all next week going into Las Vegas.
Yes, sir. Thank y'all, guys.
Congrats, man.
All right. Well, was it as exciting as you was hoping it was going to be there, fearless leader?
There's a lot of drivers that are upset right now.
Oh, really?
But at the end of the day, it's week 1, and I actually thought there at Atlanta, I thought that was some pretty decent racing. A few guys struggled to hold their line, and a few 1 or 2 car incidents that didn't bring out a caution. But I actually thought that it was a pretty good run.
I did too. I mean, it looked like those, like you said, a few accidents and everything, stuff like that. People, running different sliders, their cars handling different, getting around other people might loosen them up, might tighten them up. But all in all, I think it was a good view, and I think it was a good, first two races of the season. And I'm anxious to see what next week's going to hold.
Yeah, that's two good tracks.
Oh yeah,
Vegas and ISM, both tracks you can run side by side.
yeah. Vegas, you've got the
Florida.
speed. Almost, I don't think it's quite as fast as Atlanta is, but I also think the high line works a little bit better by yourself at Vegas than it does at Atlanta. So I mean,
I
looks
agree
like we're going to
completely.
have, maybe just a little bit of strategy going into next week.
I agree. Well, all right, guys. Well, that's going to do it here for the Xfinity series. Tune in next week and let's see some more excitement.
Alrighty, and
Our next broadcast should be Friday night. We have our Dirt Series going Friday. I believe that'll be broadcast. If not, our next racing will be coming to you from on Sunday evening from where are we at again? Michigan and
Kansas.
Martinsville? Kansas and Martinsville. Apologies.
I wish it was Michigan.
Yeah, me too.
Alrighty, well,
All right.
thank y'all
Thanks
for
viewing,
joining,
guys.
and we will catch y'all next week.